season has been a very difficult one and a hard one in more reasons than one. But what's your assessment of
it? It's not just about a season, Matt, is it? It's more than that, I think. I think there's a whole range of reasons. I don't think you can necessarily, look at a football season in 2021 in the normal way we normally would. Difficult, stressful. It's very difficult because, the first thing you do, I suppose, as a chairman, you have to assess, are people giving their best, and how's the season gone? Was it the expectations and, that we'd hoped, etc. And it hasn't been. But I'm 22 years in, so what do we want to do? Do we want to implode on each other? Do we want to wash our dirty washing in public and play the blame game? Or do we understand that the season's gone? In terms of, for us, mounting a playoff challenge, we've flattered to deceive, and at the end of the day, we haven't quite been good enough. And it hasn't been because of the budget, it hasn't been because of a pandemic, it's been, at the end of the day, in those key moments, in those big moments, we haven't delivered. And that's why we're in the position we're in.
Listen, every football club is experiencing similar problems with not having fans in the stadium, but from a personal point of view, do you feel as though this season might have been different had you had fans here? Do you think Boreham would be doing better than perhaps they are doing at the minute?
No, I don't think so. I think we're not Notts County. We're not suddenly going to look behind the look behind the goal and suddenly it's rammed. We're not Chesterfield, or today we've had Stockport County come to us, and they were a big football league club, less than a decade ago. A decade ago we was probably Ryman Premier, maybe just climbed through to the Conference South at that point. We've just had a season where, I don't know where we're sitting tonight, we were 11th before today, so probably 12th, 13th, I don't know. So we'll have to take that, we'll have to see how we go. We've got 5-6 weeks left of the season, we've got our targets for next season. One or two of the players that were on show today won't be here. And, we'll do what we've always done. We'll understand we're an underdog club. We can't go and shop at the top table, but I wouldn't put it down to fans not being within the stadium. No, I think Liverpool might point to that, but we can't. I think we're the lowest supported club in it, so it'd be foolish for us to say that. We just haven't delivered in those key moments, and come the end of the season, we're looking a little bit sorry for ourselves, and so. We'll have to go again.
Is Luke under any pressure at all? Chairman, potentially in your position, other clubs might be asking themselves a few questions. Where are you coming from it?
That's a great question. It's a brave question as well. No, Luke's under pressure because he'll want to put himself under pressure. If you're a football manager, you should be under pressure at 3 p.m. every Saturday, because what you put on the pitch, you'll get judged by. But if you're saying, is he under pressure for his job, which I think is probably the insinuation of the question, no. This is a 35-year-old manager. He's in his 6th season. We've been through an awful lot. We had to win our last 3 games, in our first season in the National League to stay up, and we did that together. We improved. We've been to Wembley together. We've been to the playoffs again. As you know, last season you came with us to Halifax, here to Halifax and up to Harrogate. you're allowed to things for not to go well. If somebody said tonight, you know, to the Bournemouth manager, if they were still in the Premier League, is he under pressure if he was sitting 11th or 12th, you know? But as we know, Bournemouth are now in the Championship. You know, people do pull the trigger at our level with managers. As you know, the filed chairman pulled the trigger on Dave Challoner. I mean, as we're talking tonight, I think Hartlepool top with Dave Challoner in charge. So the point I'm making, I suppose, is we have to accept Bournemouth Football Club are an underdog club, the lowest supported club in the National League. We have very, very limited sponsorship. We have a limited crowd. We have to fight for everything, you know, that we've got, whether it's support, whether it's sponsorship, whether it's how we run things. And Luke Garner is one of the biggest assets in this club. He's loyal, he's smart, he's talented, he's driven. He loves this football club, you know, and it's my job to support him, you know, through the bad times, not just the good times. No one was asking me this question when we walked up Wembley Way. No one asked me that question last year when we were probably a game away again from Wembley at Harrogate, and when you look at where we are, as I say, mid-table. He's took us to the third round of the FA Cup for the first time in our history. We've gone to some massive clubs like Hartlepool and Notts County and beat them this year. We've sold Salbert Thomas to, which is an academy graduate, through the academy that he runs for me. So there are positives, and we're just having a bit of a difficult spell.
You mentioned sponsors there, and finances in general, I imagine, has been particularly difficult this season just because of the way that all clubs have been finding it difficult. I suppose, is that a very similar situation for yourself?
It's very difficult at our level without a pandemic. So with a pandemic, it's almost impossible. We put our ducks in a row very early. It's well documented what I did to make sure that the club's still here now. But we're going to be on life support for a while, you know. We're going to be on life support at least for another season and a half. And we're going to have to be like we always are. We're going to have to make every penny count. We're going to have to be smart. We're going to have to make, you know, sure the staffing levels are correct, that, you know, our budget works on the pitch as well as off the pitch. Yeah, but it's been the most horrendous time. But we should also, you know, accept that, you know, there's a lot of people lost their loved ones. All my staff are still here, you know. You know, we've managed to look after everybody, and come next season we'll be strong again. We've got to navigate our way through. But if we do that with a togetherness, that'll be a good starting point.
And the fans, like so many non-league clubs, are going to be vital at bringing those finances back into the club. Yeah,
they are. You know, I've got a great support base. It's not a large support base, but it's a loyal support base. We do have a group that may be a little bit more demanding than or they have an expectation level perhaps a little bit higher than we can, you know, give them in terms of expectation. But there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we'll keep striving as we've done for many, many years. You know, people forget. You know, as I say, you know, we were, it wasn't that long ago we were in the Southern Eastern Division. You know, and then the Ryman Premier, and then the Conference South, and now here. And when you're sitting at the top table of non-league football, it's a place we never thought we'd ever get to. So perhaps some of our newer supporters are used to walking up Wembley Way or being in the playoffs, but that's not a realistic level of where Boreham would ever thought it would get to. So, you know, if you're looking for a trigger-happy chairman and somebody who doesn't, you know, understand that loyalty and friendship and an understanding through the bad times are needed, then, you know, then you've got to understand that you've got the wrong chairman for your club. And as I say, I'm not necessarily sure that a club who's maybe sort of overcooking their grits really, it should be a club that changes managers every 5 minutes, or every time there's an awkward spell, feels that a change is coming. It's not even entered my mind. We'll get ready for next season. We'll get ready for, I think our next game's Kings Lynn at home, and we'll find a way to, as I say, to wipe our mouths and get on with things.
Do you have a final message for the fans that I'm sure you're hoping will be able to come back and support you next season in their numbers?
No, I think I'll say it quite often, Matt. Have I got a message? They know me, they're part of me. This town is, our community is, it's close. I know what we need to do. They know at the end of the day what type of person I am, what type of club we've built. We're certainly not one of the Super Six. We're not, I was a bit upset that we weren't invited to the into the European Super League. I think my record's better than Spurs, I think, over the last 20 years. So we was a little bit upset with that. No, I've got no message. But hopefully with the Super Six, if they do want to create a Super European League, perhaps they can write a song and go into Eurovision and leave the English Football League and the Premier League, and we've got a fantastic product in England. Our pyramid should be treasured, and those at the top need to understand. Us at the bottom, we've produced the Ian Wrights, we've produced the Jamie Vardys. We're here for everybody. The
Sorba Thomases.
And the Sorba Thomases. Again, everybody has played a part over the last 150 years in that, in this pyramid. So I would say tonight, perhaps my problems are a little bit less than some clubs, but it's been a very, very damaging and very hard year, and hopefully we'll come out of this pandemic, and this, with the vaccine, perhaps this really is the road to recovery now, and we really can look forward.